Hello, and welcome back to the Game Room. Recently, I've been reading Realms of Cthulhu, and a review on this will be forthcoming, but it's gotten me recently thinking about the sanity mechanic and sanity loss in the assorted Mythos games. Now, I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding out there that sanity loss is all about fear and your character being afraid. Now, I have a friend who hates the idea of his character being afraid, and he especially doesn't want any character to be a coward. Now, if there are bravery, feats, or merits, he'll take those things at character creation to ensure his character's bravery. Now, I think it's very important for a character to have the ability to be afraid or to have a fear, but if you're investing those points, and that's your character's gimmick, that they're unafraid, well, that's fine. But let's talk about what happens when bravery meets the mythos. So, imagine a World War I soldier. They have braved trench warfare, enemy machine gun fire, mustard gas, and in a charge across no man's land, they come to the enemy trenches to find some ghouls are gnawing upon some dead Germans. Now, in this moment, he has the terrible realization that monsters are real and they will eat you. Now, this character is brave, but he tests for sanity loss here because it's not about the shock and the fear of this situation. It's not about seeing these creatures, it's about what comes after, actually. Now, this character will no doubt hose down these ghouls with his Thompson. He will react, no doubt, with righteous fury, despite the fact that he has lost a bit of sanity. He has lost it because after you see real monsters, after you see real cannibalistic ghouls, there's no going back. You see, this character has come to the same horrid realization that Newt had in Aliens. The fact that no matter what your parents told you, monsters are in fact real. And they mostly come out at night. Mostly. But that was just a ghoul, one of the least sanity-destroying creatures in the mythos. So what about an elder thing? It's this barrel-shaped, purple, flower, tentacle, winged, whistling thing. And it will destroy a character's mind if they even see one. But why? It's not quite as scary as a ghoul. It doesn't have the same teeth and claws. It doesn't eat your character. So why does it demolish their brain? It is because certain mythos creatures are so alien, so unnatural, and just so wrong that their psychic radiation will cook your mind. See, that is when the sanity system really clicked for me, is when I thought about it in these terms. You see, physical radiation, it will send out the radioactive particles and they slam into our DNA like a cue ball on the billiard table. And it sends our DNA scattering, and this is what causes mutations, this is what causes the cancers, and this is what kills a person from physical radiation. Now, with the psychic radiation of experiencing the mythos, be it a creature or a spell or traveling through a gate to another dimension, this is psychic radiation that cooks our brains. It is shattering and scattering the billiard balls of your minds, and the mutations is sanity loss, and the mutations are madness, and they're unavoidable. Now, it's not a question of whether or not your character is brave, it's simply a question of whether or not your character has a human mind. Because whenever experiencing the mythos, the human mind is placed in the mythos microwave and it is set to defrost. There is no escaping it. But a cultist mind is a bit different. Yes, their mind has mutated and become mad, but they've adapted, they've thrived in their madness. You see, a cultist is the cockroach that crawls out of the nuclear wasteland unscathed. It is this same psychic radiation that cooks the brain of anyone attempting spell casting. For mythos creatures, spells are not magic. It is simply the way that their alien minds work. It is the way that the laws of physics work in the bizarre and unnatural realms from which they hail. You see, any human attempting to twist his or her mind into these alien thought processes cannot help but be driven mad and see the world in just one slight way as these alien creatures do. It is so unnatural. It is like trying to teach a dog how to make a bonfire in which to cook their food. Their mind and their body rebels against this. You know, a dog is afraid of fire. It is beyond their mortal ken. It is beyond their thought process. And as far as cooked food, well, what self-respecting dog does not eat a roadkill raccoon when it is raw and stanky? That is how they like it, and that is how their bellies like it too. So, those are my maddened, gibbering thoughts on sanity loss and the sanity system in the assorted Mythos games. And just like all Mythos knowledge, now that you have learned it, you cannot unlearn it.